Hello, everyone, and welcome and good evening. And welcome to our YouTube channel. As usual, we're carrying on with our Tuesday evening lessons, and we're going to carry on with the articles that we did, with the text that we did at the Congress that we had in October, at the end of September and the beginning of October. So connecting as one man with one heart, lesson number 2. This is where we left off. Item number 8. If you're new to the YouTube channel and if you're interested in the Wisdom of Kabbalah on our YouTube channel, you'll find a series of semesters where you can watch an introduction course to the Wisdom of Kabbalah. And if you're really interested to join a group and study with like-minded people, you can always go to Kabbalah.info and join us at the KABU Academy with people from all around the world. And you'll probably have a good environment where you can move forward and progress. Now let's get smashing with lesson number 2 from the Sukkot Congress that we had, item number 8. And if you have any questions, shoot them through as usual. We'll try to clarify from the text that we have from the Kabbalists. Repentance is mainly in uniting with each and everyone in love and in one heart, to serve the Creator shoulder to shoulder, as was said, and all are reviewed in one review. This means that we should adhere and connect to one another and close into one another in the heart of each one. This is implied in the word one, to become one bundle to serve the Creator wholeheartedly. All right, let's read that again and chew it up a little bit. Repentance is mainly in uniting with each and every one in love and in one heart to serve the Creator shoulder to shoulder. All right, so sometimes when Kabbalists are writing, it's a little bewildering and we do get confused and perplexed a little bit. So let's see what he wants to say. Repentance is mainly in uniting with each and every one in love and in one heart to serve the Creator shoulder to shoulder. So we've been over this a few times, right? The Creator doesn't need us to serve him, okay? Because if he can do everything and anything and everything, why would you need anyone to serve, right? Is that correct? If I can do everything just like that, why would I need anyone? I wouldn't. So the important thing here is to understand that repentance is actually us changing our nature from a bad nature to a good nature. And that means that I need to unite with everyone in one heart in love. So actually what we're repenting is, all right, is whatever is against human connection with love inside of us. That's what we want to bring to repentance. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's not about me being, I don't know, not doing some religious chore or something. When I'm trying to connect in love with someone and I discover inside of me things that are against loving somebody, I want to correct those attributes. And if I correct those attributes, it means I brought myself to repentance. All right. And shoulder to shoulder means we have to do it together because I need someone to work with here. Right? I can't on my own think about loving someone because that's not going to be very realistic, is it? I need someone to love. Okay. So I need someone to practice with. So if I don't have that practice ground, if I don't have that laboratory, then obviously I'm not going to be able to get any proper feedback as to what I need to correct. All right. So this is why working with a 10 or a group of people are important, because I've got people in front of me. I don't know who they are. We just met as a Kabbalah group, right? So we're in this group, we're studying the wisdom of Kabbalah. And the Kabbalists are saying, well, listen, once you go through the fundamentals of the wisdom, you got to start putting it into practice, right? And what is that practice? That practice, it says, is the love of others. And when I try to love others, inside of me, there'll be things that are against love. Because we're trying to love like the Kabbalists are saying, not according to what I think what love is. All right. So as was said, and all are reviewed in one review. Okay, so all of us need to be in one bundle to work this thing out. This means that we should adhere and connect to one another and close into one heart and close into one heart in the heart of each one. So all of us should take every friend into our heart and care for them. Really care about them. But what should I care about? Okay, there's so much to care about in a person's life, isn't there? Their livelihood, their health, I don't know, their family, kids. Oh, dear me. All right. So there's so much to care about. What should I really care about? Well, I should really care about how we're all going to get to the goal. Okay, so I don't want to be really thinking about additional stuff. I want to be focused when I'm with the group, and we all want to focus on one thing, how to get to the purpose of our life, which is to exit ourselves and to perceive a higher level of consciousness, which is called the love of others. All right, because we're always living inside of ourselves, our self-concern by nature only allows us to perceive reality from within our lives, which is called a little box. It's not called a life at all, actually. We're like in a mouse trap, okay? And the only kick we're getting out of it is going around that wheel, and sometimes every now and then somebody is dropping us a pellet, which we can nibble on, okay? And that's pretty much it. And then, we end up dead, as you know, being in the rat race, as they say. Okay, so what we want to do is get out of that state. In order for me to get out of that state, I need to get out of my self-concern. So this is why the group is important. All right, so we all need to adhere and connect to one another and close into one another in the heart of each one. This is implied in the word one, to become one bundle to serve the Creator wholeheartedly. So all of us want to be united in this one goal called the love of others in order to, what does it say, serve the Creator wholeheartedly. Serving the Creator wholeheartedly means that we're coming to the same degree as the Creator, to the same level of perception as the Creator. Like I said, the Creator does not need us to serve him. All right, he's not a megalomaniac. He's not some kind of an egoistic person that says, well, I'm going to create everything so they could serve me. Not at all. Okay. To serve the Creator wholeheartedly means we want to bestow back exactly the way he's bestowing to us. So we have equivalence of form, so we can perceive reality and exist within reality exactly like how the Creator is existing in reality. So why do the Kabbalists always saying, we're going to serve the Creator, serve the Creator? Why don't they just say, listen, he's bestowing, want to bestow back, right? Okay, why don't they just write it plain and simple? Getting so confused, like we have to, start bowing and saying, oh, kind of thing, right? Well, the whole idea is this: when you advance in the degrees of spirituality, you feel like the Creator is serving you all the time. You feel like you're his guest all the time, and he's doing all he can to make elevated in spirituality, we feel how the Creator is always serving us. And this is what was served back. And that's why it's called reciprocity. Okay. And this is the whole idea that we do this in the group as well. Okay. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? So the friends are serving me and I'm serving the friends, right? So we're all serving each other mutually. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's the same kind of concept with the Creator, because at the end of the day, what we want to do is elevate ourselves to a level where we have that reciprocity with the Creator. So what the Kabbalists feel in spirituality is like, oh my God, the Creator is serving us all the time. He's doing everything for us. So they're using these words. They're not wrong. They're in fact very, very much true, okay? Because they're talking out of that sensation. And because that is so true, they're using true words. But because we're not there, okay, for us, it's like, well, who am I going to be a slave to? Okay, and so our ego is kind of rejecting that situation, but we shouldn't really look at it in a negative perspective. It's rather logical, actually. Any dramas? Looks like we're all clean. That's what I like. Item number 9. This is from Baal Islam, letter number 47. Let me remind you the validity of love of friends, in spite of everything at this time. For it is upon this that our right to exist depends, and upon this our near to come success is measured. Hence turn away from all the imaginary engagements, and set your hearts on thinking thoughts and devising proper tactics to truly connect your hearts as one. So the words, love your friend as yourself, will literally come true in you. Let's read it again and chew it up. Let me remind you the validity of love of friends in spite of everything at this time. He wrote this in the middle of, maybe even before the middle of the last century. Okay, you can see how valid it is right now. Right now, how valid this is. How everything depends on the love of friends in spite of all the mess we're going through right now in the Middle East. Okay. For it is upon this that our right to exist depends. Okay, so our right to exist depends on this principle, love of friends. And upon this, our near to come success is measured. All right, so we're always at B'nai Baruch, as we're studying Baal Islam and Rabash throughout the sages, Ari, Rashbi, Akiva, all the way down to you know who. We're always focusing on just one principle, aren't we? Love of others. Right? Because it's the only way where I can perceive a reality beyond myself. This is why love is important. So sometimes when people hear it on the outside, they think we're like kindergarten kids, teaching each other how to love, just like we teach our children, oh, you should love your friends, get along well with them, and so on. Why do we teach our children like that? Because instinctively we know that's how it's good for them. Right? So when we send them to school, we say, listen, don't fight, get along, share, okay, care for your friends, and so on. But as we grow up, we forget what we teach our own children. We don't live like how we teach our children to live. It's weird and it's crazy. Okay, and it's very, very silly. And this is why the world is in a mess. So humanity's existence, humanity's good welfare depends on caring for others. Hence, turn away from all the imaginary engagements. So it's basically saying, listen, don't waste your time on YouTube. Okay, that's basically what it's saying. Don't waste your time on things that are not going to help you move forward. All right. Why? Because you're measured according to what you do in your spare time. All right. So we take care of the family, we take care of our health. Sure, we go out, work. All of us have jobs, family to take care of and everything. We do all of that stuff. Why? Because that's a worldly requirement. And it's actually a part of our correction as well. But on top of that, all of you will have spare time. That's for sure. If you're studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, all of you have spare time. And if you don't, you're just making an excuse. Okay, there is no student in the wisdom of Kabbalah who's 24/7 fully engaged in something that he cannot add spirituality to his life. That's bogus. All right. So what we have to do is during that time, which is not for our necessity, then we turn away from all the imaginary engagements of life and we set our hearts on thinking thoughts and devising proper tactics to truly connect your hearts as one. So the words love your friend as yourself will literally come true in you. All right, so very, very important for us to work in the 10, where we should all sit down and think. Right, everybody in their 10 should sit down and think and talk and make a game plan as to what we're going to do. Every day, we need to think about what we're going to do so that we can come closer to the love of friends. And if we don't do that, we're not doing the work. So we get a lot of people who always complain, well, you know, I've been studying for 10 years and nothing's happening. Well, listen, if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. Okay? Because just coming to the lesson, listening to the lesson, and thinking something miraculous is going to happen out of the blue is not very realistic, is it? It isn't. So we need to understand that what we have to do is come together and from everything we've learned in the lessons, devise ways to get closer. And we really need to work on it. And if we don't, we're wasting our time. Questions? Anything? Just one? Let me just see where we're at. Let's do that. Rachel's asking, if two people are feeling the reciprocity of the Creator, is it appropriate to try to connect above the hearts even higher? And is this what the sages say, love will cover all transgressions? Absolutely, because until we go to the end of the road, we're always going to have some kind of an egoistic nature which is going to surface. All right, so in every degree, I have to kind of look after that. How? By covering it with love. Right? So all the time, it's like constant ongoing work. And remember, as we grow up in life, life becomes tougher, right? We get more problems, which are more, you know, like real problems. All right. When we're kids, we have little problems. Why am I not getting chocolate today? All right. As we grow up, we're like, wow, you know, we could be sacked. We could have a serious health issue. I know we could have a problem in the family, at work. You know, all of a sudden, everything could go upside down. So as we grow up, we get heavier problems. Well, in spirituality, it's the same thing. The more I'm elevated, the more egoism needs to surface, right? Now I have to build on top of that another cover of love. But this is really important. If it wasn't that way, we'd never get smarter, right? How do we get smart in life? With experience, right? Wisdom is attained with experience. So as we're growing up, experiences are building inside of us wisdom. And the older we get, we're going through tougher states in life, but we're getting wiser with those tougher states. And if I don't do the same in spirituality, I can't grow the love. Why? Because perception of reality is always on two extreme levels, right? So if I have an egoism right now revealed to me, I have to, at the same level, match it with love. So the greater the egoism, the more I've got the potential to love and bestow, right? So who's higher in spirituality? The worst one of us is the highest, okay? Because the more egoism I have, the more opportunity I've got to build love on top of it. If I've got a small ego, I've got small love. Big ego, I've got big love. All right? Does that make sense? Okay, it's the same thing in life. Same thing in life. The more egoistic a person is in life, the more successful they become, don't they? Okay, they become richer, they become more powerful, smart, whatever. Why? Because they've got more coarseness, more desire to receive. Okay. Where are we? Irina, you want to ask on Zoom or you want to
Yeah,
go
I'm
on?
here. Sometimes corporeality problems takes over so much that I notice I go to lessons, I cannot hear anything, like in any language. Like I try, like say my native language or English, I still don't hear it. So something is happening inside. And question is, do I have to solve my corporeality problems first? Like I know I cannot stop do spiritual work because I know it's gonna be dead end.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that
So,
you
but at the
know that.
same time, yeah, but at the same time, I continue for a week. I cannot hear Raf. I cannot hear anyone in any language. So it warns me something's going on, and I
Yeah,
have to do something.
yeah.
So I have to be persistent in what? That's the
First of all,
question.
if something if corporeal life is overwhelming you, right? And you, on the one hand, corporeality is overwhelming. On the other hand, you understand you need to go with spirituality. Okay. So what you do is you have to keep your spiritual framework. Still come to the lessons, even if you don't hear, it's okay. Because sometimes we feel like we don't hear anything, but things go in. Okay, even if we don't process it at the time. But what is important in corporeality is you fix whatever you need to fix in corporeality. Okay. So for example, let's say somebody lost their job. Okay. They've got to find a job. Okay. Because that's part of corporeality. Let's say, I don't know, let's say, for example, let's say my mum wasn't feeling well, right? So, I take her to the hospital, I make sure she's okay, go to the doctors, get her checked out, whatever. So if I have to take time off to do that, I do it. Why? Because it's corporeality, it's necessary, it's mom, it's family. Okay. So there are certain things that are like necessities for us, and you got to take care of it. Okay. But I'm still in the morning lesson. I'm still in the morning lesson. Sometimes there's a corporeal issue. For example, on Sunday night, we were supposed to have a program, for example. I canceled it. Okay. Why? Because I was coming back. So the flight, I didn't know the flight was going to be on or off. And I also wanted to, because it was a bit of a panic situation. I also, when I landed, I just wanted to make sure I spent some time with the family and not rush into everything. Okay. So there's certain things when corporeality is overwhelming, you got to just take a step back and make like, okay, what do I need to do to solve these corporeal problems? Just like like a plan. Okay, just like you would with that spirituality. So keep them separate, okay, and take care of corporeal issues like you would in normal life. God forbid you're sick, you got to go to the doctor. There's no like the creator will fix me up. He won't. Okay. So you got to go to the doctor. If I don't have a job, I got to look for one. The creator is not going to give me a job. He's not going to give me money from the sky. It's not going to happen. I got to go get myself a job. I got an issue with the kids. I got to take care of the kids. This kind of corporeal stuff we need to take care of at a corporeal level. But doing so, I'm also in the morning lessons. I'm in the morning lessons. If I got responsibilities like Tuesday nights, we're here Monday night with the education center and so on. Yeah.
So do it simultaneously and should come back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's like a background. Spirituality
Yeah.
is a background, and I'm
I
like,
know.
what's this? Like I have so many problems. I have to take care of them.
Uh-huh.
But spirituality goes away even further away
Yeah. I know the feeling. We've
for
all
some
been there.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been there. I can say it to myself as
All
well.
right. So
There were times when, there was some corporeal stuff now, and just, I just can't disconnect from it. And I'm in the lesson. Okay. But it's like everything is just going,
yeah,
nothing is getting in.
like a tunnel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's okay. It happens. It does happen.
Okay. So just be patient, right? And
Yeah, be patient,
continue,
just
like I said.
exactly. Continue, but at the same time, you gotta,
Right.
do what you need to do in corporeality to fix those corporeal problems,
Yeah.
and
All right. Thank you.
don't leave anything to the creator. Otherwise, it's, it's gonna be problematic. Okay. All right. So we're on number 10. This is from Elimelech. All right. Brace your ties of love to you, as it is known to you that all will be for bringing contentment to you. And this is our main intention. And should we not have the wit to aim our hearts to you, you will teach us, so we may truly know the aim of your goodwill. All right, so you here is the creator, obviously, but let's read it again. Brace our ties of love to you. So all of us need to be tied to the creator in love, which means the same kind of way the creator loves. Okay, so we want to be like directed towards the attribute of love, which is the creator's attribute of love. As it is known to you that all will be for bringing contentment to you. So everything will be in order to bestow, just like the creator bestows, we want to bestow. And this is our main intention. This is actually the only intention, okay, for studying the wisdom of Kabbalah. There's only one intention: to reach the purpose of life, which is to bestow to the creator like he's bestowing to us. So we have equivalence of form. So we're in an equal state with the creator. And there is no other intention. Just one intention. And should we not have the wit to aim our hearts to you, and if we can't manage it, if we can't do it, if we feel like, like Irina said in a minute ago, I just can't, I'm just not there, I just can't focus, I'm just not in the, I'm just not in the process. That's okay. As long as I'm continuing, what will happen? You will teach us, because there'll come a time I'm going and going and going. I'm making some effort, okay, because I'm not falling off the bandwagon, I'm not going off track. There'll come a time when I'm kind of like fixing the corporeal stuff on the one hand, but I'm still coming to the lessons, and then it'll kind of like sort and balance itself out. But this kind of thing is normal. We get disconnected, and then what we got to do is do something to get back connected. And then what does it say? You will teach us, so we may truly know the aim of your goodwill. Now, spirituality, the attribute of bestowal is the creator's bestowal. So we can only learn from the creator, all right? And that's only going to happen if I feel the creator. If I don't feel the creator, there's nothing to talk about, okay? So in the interim, we're learning from the books and doing the best we can amongst each other. But true bestowal, we need to learn from the creator, okay? And that should make sense to all of us. There's no other way. So we may truly know the aim of your goodwill, all right? Because if I don't know the creator, I can't know how to bestow to him. So this relationship has to be reciprocal. I need to feel the creator. I need to feel his actions on me, his intentions on me. And then from that, I can learn to reciprocate with my actions the same kind of intention and the same kind of bestowal to the creator. Until we get there, we won't know. This is the end of the lesson 2 of the Congress, right? Now we're moving on to lesson number 3. Okay. Lesson number 3. So that was overcoming the burdening of the heart. All right, see, there we go. This is exactly going to be, I think it's going to be for all of us, not just Irina, but this is going to be for all of us as well. So overcoming the burdening of the heart. The hardening of the heart, this is from Rabash. The hardening of the heart, in the words, "For I have hardened his heart," was to make a place for a prayer. The purpose of the prayer is for him to have a kli, a need for the help of the creator. For there is no light without a kli. And when a person sees that he cannot help himself in any way, then he has a need for the creator's help. Okay, we got the answer, Irina. Yeah, we got the answer. Let's read it again. It's really good. So I'm in a situation, what is it? The hardening of the heart, in the words, "For I have hardened his heart," was to make a place for a prayer. Okay, so I'm feeling disconnected, probably lacking the desire. I can't focus, right? So I'm feeling a bit of heaviness. The purpose of the prayer is for him to have a kli, a need for the help of the creator. This is good because on the one hand, you understand your situation, right? You're coming to the lessons, but you can't hear anything. You don't hear anything. It's like, you know, and you're overwhelmed with corporeality and so on. So Rabash has got a really nice, you know, solution. Because I understand the situation I'm in, I can turn to the Creator. Okay. There are some states where we don't even know the situation we're in. We're like completely at a loss. Okay. But now you've got a good situation because you can clarify where you're at. You know, I'm coming to the lessons. I'm overwhelmed with corporeality. I can't hear anything. I can't focus. Can't do this. I can't do that. Great. So the Creator's doing that. Why? Because if I have a desire, I can pray to the Creator. Because I want to advance in spirituality, but I'm finding that I can't. You know, so now we turn to the Creator. Bingo. Okay, so all of the stuff we're going, like the Kabbalists are always saying, whatever we go through in life, it's the Creator helping us to turn to Him. Okay, so especially if we stick to the lessons, we can then get the message that I need to turn to the Creator. Okay, otherwise I'll forget that as well. You see what I mean? So this is why keeping the framework is important. In the lesson, I should get an answer to my problem. Okay, this is why the lessons are really important. Every lesson, if I have a problem, drama, I need to fix, I need to overcome, the lesson should give me the hint. So I need the help of the Creator. For there is no light without a kli. Okay. And when a person sees that he cannot help himself in any way, then he has a need for the Creator's help. All right, see, there you go. I can't solve the problem. Great. But the Creator can. Okay. So then at the end of it all, when you start the day, you start with a prayer. Yeah. First of all, thank you for making me understand that I need your help. So the first thing in praying is we thank the Creator. Why? Because I've got an opportunity to turn to Him for a problem I've clarified for myself, which I need to overcome to move forward. Right? So we're thankful. Then I clarify where I need the help. And that's it. Beautiful.
But I keep asking about it, and obviously, I thought I would hear, but I still don't. And I don't
Join
know.
the
I'm
club.
like, what is it exactly you want me to do?
Most of the time, right? Everybody asks this question. I'm asking and asking, and the Creator never answers back. Okay. It's because we're not looking for the answer in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is not going to come from the skies. The answer is going to come in my process, in my working process in the group. That's where I should get the answer from. Okay.
Okay. So it's
And
a group.
lot of people, because a lot of people are always asking, why is the Creator not answering me? Why is He not answering me? Are we praying? We're praying and praying and praying and nothing happens. Well, look, first of all, are you praying for what you should be praying for? Okay. Is it related to the purpose of life? Second of all, are you looking for the answers to sharpen up your prayer, to correct your prayer, to like kind of mold it into the right kind of desire within the work in the 10? Or is it just like kids screaming around in the house?
So I have to calibrate the prayer.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have to, and when we calibrate, we should, if you come to the lesson, I mean, this is like, I've been in this business for like more than 20 years now, 22 years. Whenever I have an issue, I always find an answer within the group, and it comes with the lesson. It comes with the lesson, and then I understand what I have to do in the 10 from what we studied. And this is the miracle of it. It's like when you're doing a lesson, every day you do a lesson, and it's like the lesson is specifically for you, but you've got to you've got to be kind of like in there in the group, because this is where you have to work. If you don't work, you don't get any feedback for a feeling. Okay. And learning it intellectually is not going to help us. I'm learning, I've got to do, then I'll get the feedback. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I noticed that intellectually. Yeah, that's what he tells me. Like, no, I don't need your intellect. You have to do
Excellent.
something. And that's something, like you said, I have to calibrate, which is a prayer,
Exactly.
but calibrate according to my 10, because I'm already in that process. That's what he wants me to be there.
Correct.
Don't look around in my house or anything
Mhm.
else. The answer is not in your world. The answer
Exactly.
is what you're trying to build. It's in the key of the 10.
Exactly. This is
That's
why,
the calibration gonna be. Okay.
correct. This is why in the previous lessons text also, they're always talking about, bring your hearts together, get together, love each other, and so on. Why? They're trying to tell us, listen, this is where you need to be working. So only if you work in that point, you're going to understand what you're lacking. Okay, you're going to understand what's missing in your work if you push towards caring for the friends. And then you can calibrate. Okay, so the calibration needs to be like focused on what you want to get. This is why everything has got to be in the group. And
Thank
if
you so
it's,
much.
yeah, and if it's not, people get all kinds of funny ideas what they can do for God. You can see in religions. It's just like completely not, it's got nothing to do with anything related to God. So,
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
so let's move on to number 2 now. This is from Bala Islam Shamati, article number 4. What is the reason for the heaviness one feels when annulling before the Creator in the work? This is a really nice Shamati article. We must know the reason for the heaviness one feels when he wants to work in annulling himself before the Creator and not worry about his own benefit. A person comes to a state as though the entire world stands still, and he alone is now seemingly absent from this world and leaves his family and friends for the sake of annulling before the Creator. There is but a simple reason for this, called lack of faith. It means that one does not see before whom he nullifies, meaning he does not feel the existence of the Creator. This causes him heaviness. Okay, let's read again. We must know the reason for the heaviness one feels when he wants to work in annulling his self before the Creator and not worry about his own benefit. So obviously he's saying, listen, we're going to go through these heavy states. Okay. So if I'm going through some heaviness, I need to understand why so I can fix it. A person comes to a state as though the entire world stands still and he alone is now seemingly absent from this world and leaves his family and friends for the sake of annulling before the Creator. Well, we also experience this a lot. Okay, all of a sudden we find ourselves in Kabbalah, we turn our kind of backs to everything we had in our previous life, kind of like get absorbed into this work. Okay, kind of like leaving everything behind. It's like we don't think of anything else. There is but a simple reason for this, called lack of faith. It means that one does not see before whom he nullifies, meaning he does not feel the existence of the Creator, and this causes him heaviness. So as long as we don't really perceive the Creator, we're going through ups and downs and heaviness. But even in spiritual states as well, when a person is going from one degree to the next, he's always going to feel this heaviness as well. This cannot be like overridden. You can't override this. You can't jump on top of it. For the basic reason I explained a minute ago, the more you advance, the more you grow up, the more coarseness you're going to reveal. And that is always a heaviness. Why? Because then you've got to nullify for even a higher degree of bestowal. So then you're like kind of like under even more burden. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to the gym. I could lift 5 kilograms, let's say. Now they say you got to lift 7.5. I'm like, okay. So it's more burden. However, why is it lack of faith? Even if he was in spirituality, lack of faith means lack of bestowal. Okay. So now I feel that I cannot bestow for that extra burden. This is why the heaviness is. So it feels hard to nullify oneself to the situation. And it's even harder to justify the creator. And on top of that, you still have to find ways to get over it and work in the 10 to take that leap again. This must happen all the time. Okay. This is why once you get used to the routine, despite the fact that the state is heavier, what you begin to understand is that this is how it is. Okay, this is the path. All right. So when we're falling, okay, we're falling. But if you understand you're falling, getting up, falling, getting up, falling, getting up, then you can actually, kind of like make sense of it, even at a higher levels descent. Okay. It's like with life. I go to school, I fail, let's say, a lesson. I understand things happen. So what do I have to do? I have to make some extra effort to overcome it and to pass it the next time. It's the same kind of thing. Just like in life, we have failures. In spirituality, we will have them. Okay. And then we have to create on top of that more bestowal. This is why he's feeling heavy, because for the desire to receive more bestowal is like, come on, give me a break. Okay. That's what it feels like, because we're working against our nature. Okie dokie. How are we doing? Dri is asked. Oh, I've got a question from Isake as well, right? Isake and Dri. Let's see. Let's go with Dri because he's asking for a continuation of Irina's question. In that state, how can we pray to Creator when we can't pray for ourselves? You can pray this is why I said to Irina, you can pray if you understand that you want to do something, but you're incapacitated to do it. Okay, you come into the lessons and you can't hear anything. Okay, but you understand you can't hear anything. Okay, you understand you're not taking anything in, and you want to overcome it. So that's good. There'll come a time when she won't even understand that. Okay, move forward a little bit more, and you'll see you won't even understand. You won't even think about it. It's just like you'll be like you're stuck in between somewhere, as they say, heaven and earth. You're just like you don't know what's going on. You're like a ghost. That happens as well. At least now she's got an understanding. I'm coming and I don't hear anything. So I've got an opportunity to pray. When she's in a state when she doesn't even understand that, she just has to keep coming like a machine. Okay, like we get up and go to work, get up and go to work, get up and go to work, and then bang, it's gonna kind of like drop by drop, drop by drop. It's gonna accumulate and then snap out of it. Why? Because the friends should be there. They should be examples. They should give the friend examples. The group should be doing things to awaken the friends. Okay, that kind of stuff. This is why we need the group. Why is it so difficult to keep a diet for a long time if you're on your own? Okay, it's very hard, right? If you're on your own, it's like, come on, who succeeds with that? Only 2 or 3% of the population. What do we just go, we're just a little bit ticked off, especially if we're studying spirituality, right? In the wisdom of Kabbalah, you get a little bit of a descent. Where do you find yourself? In front of the fridge. That's just how it is. Who's going to keep a diet? Okay. So why? Because all of a sudden on your own, you can't do it. But if you're with the guys, if you've got friends, if you've got a target, you've got a program and so on, you've got a support environment around you, then you can. Then you can get up again and come again and so on. If you've got a responsibility in the group, for example, right? I've been translating for 22 years since I came. Haven't stopped, still translating. Okay. Why is it good? It's good because I get up. Do I want to get up every morning? No. There are times when you feel like you can't move. Really, you just can't move. And that's how it is. But if you have responsibilities, then you feel like you have the force to move. And this is why we need the group. A group is like a trick on our minds. It's a tool we use to stay on track. And if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be on track. Just like I wouldn't keep a diet, I wouldn't keep an exercise program, nothing. Why doesn't anybody finish their exercise program? Why is it only like that? In Harvard, they did a study. Only 2 or 3% of people who start something finish something. It's that low. It's not a wonder you don't get a lot of rich people in life. Why is the majority of the population poor? You can see, it's weird, but it's true. You just can't finish it on your own. You can't do nothing. So you need a good environment. So we need the friends to remind us, like in the lesson now. Like, see, we came to the lesson. It's a reminder that she needs to now pray, but pray from within a situation where she's calibrating accordingly towards the relationship she has with the friends, and not just any kind of prayer screaming out there, I need help, because that doesn't go anywhere. I need help specifically for this situation. And then you begin to get an answer. Now, Isuke is asking, why has the Creator made it so difficult for us to connect with each other for the purpose of revealing Him? Well, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. We've got parties going on. Every now and then we have a congress, and it's a party, isn't it? Right, it's not a beach party, but still. If you got friends, and if you got good friends, it's not difficult. The difficulty is, I'll tell you what's difficult. The difficulty is it takes a process until I understand how things are working. Just like in life, it takes me a time to understand how life works. But once I've figured out how life works, it becomes, on the one hand, I'm more grown up and I'm experiencing bigger problems. But on the other hand, I begin to understand how things work. Okay, so I've got like a balance. I've got two things happening at the same time. So, okay, I've got problems, bigger problems, but I've got solutions as well. So I can, because I get the ability to find the solutions. When I'm a kid, I don't have the ability to find the solution on my own. So I need, the parents or the teacher or whatever to solve my problems, right? But as we grow up, we have bigger problems, but we also have the faculties to start discerning about, well, how can I solve this problem? What do I need to do to solve this problem? And if I can't do it, I know who to get, where to ask, blah, blah, blah. So I've got more of an experience. I don't cry about stuff like I used to when I was a kid. Okay, so now I'm more directed. So we need to understand that this is a process which is ongoing. And if I understand, then I know that I just got to stick it out. Okay, at least until retirement, I've got to stick it out to just get this pension out of the way. Okay, so that's just how it is. Just think about it logically. Then it's a process in life. We're doing the same thing. Okay, the problem is we know what we're going to get in life. In spirituality, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know when you're getting. You don't even know if you're going to get it or not. Okay, we got no idea. Okay, so it's a problem, and that's the heaviness. This is why it says this is because you got no faith. Okay, because we don't have the Creator. If we had the Creator, even in the first degree, the second degree's coarseness would be easier. Why? Because I've got a connection already, so I can just kind of start moving around that. Without the Creator, I've got the group connection. Okay, so then I've got the groups. I'm saying, okay, so I can move around here with the group, start doing this, start doing that, and get myself out of a state. This is why before attaining the sensation of the Creator, I need to kind of feel myself in the group. I gotta like feel the sensation of the group. Does that make sense? Because the group is actually designing how I'm going to approach the Creator. Okay, just think of it this way, right? For me to get out of my self-love, I need to love somebody else more than myself. Okay, that person could be the Creator or anybody in front of us. It doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because I'm changing my traits. Okay, So if I'm changing my traits, it doesn't matter who I love. So the minute I've got the love of others, or I'm trying to get closer to it, and I'm only demanding help towards that, everything else kind of settles down. Why? Because I'm like focused on what I need to be focused on. If I'm not focused on what I need to be focused on, then everything else comes on top of me to direct me to what I should be focused on. This is why we get corporeal problems as well. Okay. Why? Because it's kind of like, directing me, a little bit right, a little bit left, blah, blah, blah. So on. Okay. So Bala Islam's article is really nice and very, very accurate, saying, stop wasting your time with silly things and focus on what you should be focusing on. It's a really nice article. It's short and sweet. It's, if you want to translate that into the 21st century, 21st century Kabbalah says, don't waste your time and focus on what you want to attain. That's it. All right, obviously, we have to take care of our corporeal necessities as well. All right, no running away from that. That's also part of our correction as well. So don't disregard that. That plus spirituality, and that's it. And if you got the friends with you, it should be okay. You guys can always, if you got a 10, you guys could make a barbecue, you guys can have a party at somebody's house. All these things are good. Okay, we eat out a lot with the guys. Okay, whenever I see them anyway. Okay, when I see them, we eat. Okay, we're out there, we're trying to connect, we sing. It's like a get together with the guys. You must make it fun in your 10. And if you're not making it fun in your 10, you're going to dry out. Love of friends requires us to be happy. And if you're not creating happiness in your 10, that's it. You're going to get wasted. Because you're going to think to yourself, I'm coming here to find the love of friends. All I see are a bunch of lemon faces. And I'm really not in the mood to make lemonade. Because that's how it's going to pan out. So everybody needs to bring joy into the group. And if you do, it can be easy. It can be fun, easy, and, very rewarding. We just have to take the advice of Kabbalists, like Rabash says, like bring joy to the friends, bring a good mood, be nice and lofty, give the friends reassurance, like the confidence, we're going to get this done, we're going to nail this, just like we do in corporeality. These are really important stuff. How can we overcome this difficulty in order to be in the correct form to receive him? You have to overcome it with the group. There is no overcoming by myself. Nobody can overcome their desire by themselves. It is not possible. Because our desires are from the day we're born, it's like a done deal. You can't do anything about it. Nobody can. You cannot defeat your desires as well. You cannot even overcome your desire. You can only use the environment to make one desire more important than the other. And then I can choose the more important one. Why? Because it's logical. My ego agrees. Otherwise, your ego doesn't agree. It will want to do what it does to get pleasure. If you think about it, it makes sense. Okay. So once we start to connect with the guys, you'll see that the creator opens up. But it's really important to focus on that connection, the love of friends, not anything else. And what if I don't want to burden my 10 with my problems? It's embarrassing. Well, don't. Bring them a good mood instead. Say to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody anything about my problems because I don't want them to think about me. I want my friends to think about the creator. Right? So I'm just going to bring a good mood to the group. when we have problems in life, we don't come and tell it to the kids, right? Because the kids can't handle it, actually. If you start sharing your problems with the kids, they can't handle it. They can only grow with joy and happiness. So with the kids, we're always nice and lofty, okay, despite the fact that we might have 1,001 problems at the back of our heads. So same with the group. Think of them like your kids. You don't want to bring extra burden to them because everybody probably has a problem. I can bet you all my friends in the 10 have baggage and it's overweight. You know what I mean? So everybody's got that. So what's the point of bringing that in? I can say to myself, you know what? I'm going to solve my problems the way I need to solve them normally. To the group, I'm just going to bring a good example, a good mood, a lofty, good mood, and that's it. Oops. And that's it. Yeah. If you forget about your problems and if you focus only on your friends, then here's a trick. If I focus on other people and loving other people, I don't feel like I exist. If I don't feel like I exist, I can't have problems. Because I don't feel like I exist. So you can't have a problem. This is why perception of reality depends on how you change and not how reality changes. Does that make sense? It'll make sense when you advance with us. It will make more sense because this is how you'll feel. The more focused you're on them, you'll see that life is settling. It's doing what it needs to do. And not that you don't care, you do care, but you know, it's sometimes it just takes care, things just take care of themselves. Let's just say that's how it pans out. You have problems, you understand them, but they just seem to come and go. And that's just how it is. You overcome them, you do them. And in a day or two, it feels like you didn't even go through that thing. It's a funny feeling. I'm sure we stick on the path a little bit. In a short amount of time, you'll begin to feel it if you focus yourselves correctly to the study. Just focus correctly to the study. And then you'll see that everything else around you, even though they're like coming at you, they kind of like fade out. Like I said, it takes a bit of getting used to. But once you get that routine, once you understand the routine, then you know what to do. Rightio, let's call it a night, right? And we'll see how things go for next week. Okay. All the best. Have a good one. Good night.
Thank you very much.